Good morning, everyone. I hope traders and investors alike were green yesterday. I really hope that investors are well hedged so they can maximize the potential and protect their positions. So tomorrow's the big day. As you know, we're going to see we are pretty oversold right now. We gapped up a little bit this morning, and we're already giving it back. We did have some heavy dark pool flow and after hours yesterday. And of course, we'll see what we have in pre-market. But the heaviest was in Microsoft without figuring numbers, looking like $1.5 billion. But we found flow in our regular names and some into some bonds as well to the TLT. So let's look at some charts, get some trading ideas, some levels of support, some levels of resistance, some levels of interest. So AMC pulled back underneath the 9 and 20 yesterday. I would continue to draw this line out and see if possibly maybe get a reaction there if this continues to pull back. This is the put to call ratio. You can see we pushed up to the 130 range yesterday. We were very close. I think we were like 127 yesterday, so we didn't push that much higher. I do want to say the last 3 trading days, our MOCs have come into over 10 billion to the sell side. So we have the oscillator for the NASDAQ. You can see we are oversold, negative 228. Remember, 200 is hot. Approaching 200 is already oversold. 200's hot. Over 200's very hot. So this is the New York Stock Exchange. You can see we are at 255. We are steaming here. So we could see a bounce in the contrarian, the way the contrarians look at everything. The US dollar pushed again yesterday. We put this chart on down around here and started saying that the dollar looked very bullish as it was trying to recover and made some nice moves. Nice cup here. Very nice. Went from a rounded bottom to a full cup. See what happens here. See if we form a handle or if we continue to push. Hopefully it'll back off a little bit and give the market a break. Maybe we can rally just enough to cool these indicators off a little bit anyway. All right, the VIX, Sunday's video, we talked about how there was a divergence between the VIX and the market. We showed a chart. We expected it to spring to 35, and we sprung to 35. UVXY puts would have paid nicely yesterday. Gold, this chart will be coming off. I just wanted to show, we talked about the big green candle. Let's look at the big red candle beside it. Look at that bearish volume coming into it. So Friday, people were buying. Yesterday, Monday, people were selling it. Apple, big down candle yesterday. Going to see that in a lot of the market. Avi still pulling back here. We are bearish on Avi, and we've gotten a move. I would expect here. So you have a high, a low, a lower high, a lower low, a lower high, a lower low. I would not be surprised to see this push up and maybe retest this resistance level. We have AMD broke out of this little rising channel, which is very similar to a bear flag here. Broke out of that yesterday. This is AMD's weekly. This chart will be coming off. We just drew this bear flag into a area of interest, which was the 20, and it got rejected. And we gapped down out of the flag yesterday, just like we were expecting. So this chart will be coming off. Your MACD's pinching to the downside on the weekly. Affirm. We had this diamond pattern where we were expecting a bearish move. We were at support, got a gap down, just gap down below that support level / becomes resistance, pushing down. MACD's trying to cross. Not a lot of momentum in that MACD right now. This is a firm's 15-minute chart. You can see you can draw a trend line right on this, and that'll give you an idea of where we may have messed it up a little bit. And after hours yesterday, it looks like. But you can draw a trend line on that right there to give you some ideas at open. There's quite a few charts that you can draw trend lines on. AMC, you can see we pushed down yesterday, and this actually recovered nicely towards the end of the day. Had a big pull, very big pullback right into resistance here, and was able to take the resistance out. And pre-market and or after hours, and now pre-market, you can see it's up. So that's definitely one to watch today. Getting a lot of attention in pre-market, more so than a lot of others. AMD gapped up with the market here right into the 50, pulling back. That is the 15. See, it's on a steady downtrend. And we have been, for the most part, bearish on AMD for a good part of this year. This is Amazon. What a nice move. This was the day of the split right here. We called a bearish candle. So we thought there was more downside, plenty of downside. MACD's not even crossed yet. So you got high, a low, a lower high, then you got a low down here, another high, a low, high, low, broke the trend right there. So now the trend got broken, you're starting a new range, and it started off nicely, tried to push up, putting in a higher high. Now it's getting ready to push down and put in a lower low. So it's just starting a new trend, but the new trend does not look like a healthy one. Like I say, we could get a pullback today or a bounce today. Not saying we couldn't see further pullback, but we could definitely see a bounce today. Our indicators are showing it. We could use, we could use them to cool off a little bit. Apple, same thing. It's very choppy yesterday, held in well compared to the market. Just a steady downtrend here. Boeing, we were bearish on Boeing. We talked about how Boeing, when it popped here, we said Boeing does not hold its pops. Now, it could be following the market down. The chart looks very familiar to the market, but, new low here. So yesterday, that's the number to look for today is yesterday's low. If we take that out to the downside, then of course we're bearish. When it comes to the upside, I'm looking to, I want to be above the 15s like we are right here, be above or 50 on our 15-minute chart. You can see the bullish volume coming in at the end of the day on AMD or on Boeing here. Big volume coming in yesterday compared to average of the days before. Very big volume coming into it. But you can see that volume coming in right at the end of the day. So this is Cliff 15-minute chart. You can see it's been selling off. You can pretty much probably draw a trend line right on that as well. And it never hurts to turn your extended hours on and off to look for gaps and things like that, and just to get a view of the chart without it. I think pre-market levels are important, and I do keep them on my chart. But I do click them off from time to time just to get an idea what things look like without them. As many views as you can get of your charts, the more ideas that you can receive out of these. Now, this is Cliff daily chart. We have breached this Bollinger Band, so we are outside of the Bollinger Bands here. MACD's crossing bearish. We're back under all the major moving averages. We're back under resistance, but we are very extended here. This is actually a candle pattern called the Falling Crows, 3 red crows. It's bearish, but we're so far extended here. I can see us pushing at least a little bit, maybe to come back up and maybe possibly fill the gap, one gap. I mean, it can still continue down without that. Trust me, it can go to zero. We still have plenty of room for a downside. Just thinking, being so far extended, maybe some news changing with the market. We seen the volume candle in yesterday's video, so the market mood may change here today. Futures were up. SPY did gap up. The SPY is almost right back to where it was before the gap. We do have some dark pools to talk about, and we'll do that in Discord. We give everybody a heads up here of Microsoft, but there's a few others that are nothing like Microsoft. But we need to talk about some of our names that we trade daily. CVX here, oil had a big pullback yesterday. Crude started pushing. We called it in a Discord. Was able to put in, but you can see right here, you put in a double top. That we pushed up, put in a double top here. This right here would have been breaking the neckline. Got a little bit of downside on that. This is up this morning. I have not checked crude. I have a feeling crude must be up, but these energy names are trying to push. ExxonMobil, here's another one up this morning, right into a resistance level here. So for ExxonMobil to be bullish, I need to take this resistance level out or pull back and give me a run and start. I would need to stay above that 50 to stay bullish. We start getting below moving averages, I'm bearish. If we if we go to move to the downside, plenty of room. If we stay here where we're at, if you're able to get in from up here, then there is room to trade to the downside. GME, red candle, 20 is support right now on your daily. GME, you have your 15-minute chart here, chopping around, big pullback yesterday, and then just chopped around. It's up a little bit here this morning, then you can see it pulling back. So that may be worth keeping an eye on as well. QQQ, just, you can see this turned into a rounded top here and just pulling back, possibly an upside down cup and handle. Just ugly. MACDs are just now crossing, showing us that the bearish momentum is just getting started. QQQ 15-minute chart, you can pretty much draw a trend line right on this, and took it out yesterday, but big pullback, gap down, and chopped around. We did pull back yesterday after, the chop. You can see this is pre-market. We pulled back yesterday, in market, market open. So right at market open, we started to pull back, and we pushed here, put in a lower high, push down for a lower low. You can see the price waves and the trend right there going into a downtrend. If you're waiting for your trends to establish, instead of just running in and open buying anything just because you've seen a green candle, you're waiting for your trends to establish, and you can find a trend break flag, something like that. It'll help. It will really help your trading and help your win-loss ratio. Sometimes the best thing in the world, or the worst thing in the world that can happen, is to get lucky doing stuff like, going and chasing them candles. That's a pure gamble. And a lot of times, just the worst thing that can happen is just getting lucky and nailing in plays because you keep coming back. But if you're winning one, losing two, is it really worth it? Even if you're keeping your losses small, is it really worth it? Instead of waiting for a trend, being a disciplined trader, waiting for a trend, and then going in and catching the action. Seeing the Discord practice, they're starting to practice discipline, and they're killing it. Our Facebook uh, report, I do this thing, do a post in Facebook, our daily Facebook post. You guys look like you're very green. A lot of you killed it yesterday. Great job. Bear flag, just IWM. We broke out, moving to the downside. I would watch the bottom of this flag here. Last time we called a flag, we come down, got a reaction right here. The next day we did rip down and then snatch up, but you can get reactions at the bottom of your flag, so be careful. That was another nice play that we had back in February. Very nice flag we broke out of there. IWM in a downtrend here. Big gap down yesterday, come down. You can see the price waves, high, low, lower. This is another high, a lower low. You can see the waves going into a downtrend. You can see it gapped up this morning and pulling right back, already filling those gaps. So the market went from bullish to I'm not so sure. So MRO, you can see MRO, strong push yesterday when it started to recover right into resistance. You see it's up here this morning a little bit, getting a little more attention than what the market's getting. The gap's a little bigger. Crude may be up. I have not checked that. Facebook, Meta, still trading in this wedge. See what happens when we get to the bottom of this wedge. You can draw your line, come off this candle. Make sure you're touching those two candles. You won't touch those to line up. You may, if I pull this line just a little higher, you may. That's going to put us right about, I could actually get a little more. I don't want to cut through this body, but I can pull this line up to this body, and I may be able to tweak that up a little bit more. Meta's 15, Facebook's 15. You can see nice downtrend here, respecting it well. Tried gapping up this morning. It's giving it back. That 50 is resistance to the upside. So that's what we want to look for today is our 50s on most of our assets. We want to be above our 50 to be bullish. We want to be below the, yesterday's low to be bearish. And the 50 on the 15 looks like a big level with a lot of these today, this morning. Microsoft, once again, not exact math, but looks like we've got about $1.5 billion worth of dark pool coming in on this again. Last time, we sold on it. Let's see what we do this time. This could be a bounce. Like I say, we got some stuff on some other tech names. I'll get the math done. All right, MRL pulled back to almost a 50 yesterday. You can see now this is, even though this is a red candle, this is kind of bullish. You can see where it pulled back and then the bulls come back and bought the candle back up. So that is a decent sign. I prefer a better candle or a better setup in general, but you can see the bulls were taking back the fight at the end of the day there. They never turned the candle green, don't get me wrong, but you can see where, they were trying to buy it back up there at the end of the day. And this is Oxy's 15-minute chart. Once again, you can put a downtrend on some of this. Kind of messed the downtrend up yesterday, trading flat. See where we opened today. We gapped up. You can see we gapped up. We're trying to hold it. We are above the 50, the 9. We're actually pushed outside of the Bollinger Band and just eased back in. Definitely worth keeping an eye on today. Down below all the major moving averages now. Lower support levels or trend lines. It's worth keeping an eye on. Palantir, PLTR. We had this rising wedge, which is a bearish pattern, a bearish continuation pattern. Now we got below of course, our 9 and our 20 right here. So we were bearish on it, a bearish continuation pattern. Broke out of it below levels of interest, and we got a nice pullback yesterday. But definitely watch things today just to see what stuff does at open before we run in and chase anything. See what the flow's doing, what the volume's doing, because this market could push at, and I'm not saying a whole full day trending push. They could throw a few candles in there, just enough to shake the shorts out this morning. So they could be aggressive. And remember, let's not cry, about the market makers and the crookedness. We know how the market is. Our edge has to be designed to trade against that. And after you perfect your edge, you get your discipline together and learn to trade, you don't even think about the market makers. You just come into the market every day. You go to work. You stop by the ATM machine. So I was asked about Palantir. I do think that entry on Palantir, I'm definitely short on Palantir. Is what I would love to see here is a push today. Well, for one, we want to be below this trend line to be bearish. Preferably be below yesterday's low. But I would love to I would love to actually like to come up and retest this level a little bit and then pull back. But if we get below yesterday's low, then, it's on. So you got SoFi here, a big pullback. We're bearish on it the last few days. There was a trend line there. Well, it's more than a big pullback. We've been in a downtrend here for days, over a week. This morning in pre-market, we did push up and pull back, given the move, the push up this morning, just giving it back along with a lot of other stuff in the market. So still bearish. We're just getting extended here. There's SoFi's daily chart. You can see the doji's very tight price action. I think it needs to push back up and maybe reconnect with the trend line. Where do I think the market's going? Well, the next level right here, we're seeing 363.02. And if you adjust this line a little bit, it's more or less a zone here. So I'm looking at 364, 363.64. That's what I'm thinking would be the next level of support. I'm not saying we're going to run there today. Hopefully we don't go there, but that is the next level that I'm keeping my eye on is the 364, 363. I'm going to look at it as a $1 zone coming down here. This is a weekly chart, so this is just giving us an idea. If we can take that out, then we look for a 343, then plus our 200-day, and depending on how long it takes us to get down here, this 200 days moving up. Should say 200 week. This 200 week is moving up as we as every day that we're trading and the price action is moving up or down, this 200 will continue to move up until it connects with the price action. So that could be 363 by the time we get there if we chop around that the 200 could be at. So I don't want to, be like, oh, what was it? So 341. I don't want to be like, oh, we're definitely going to that 200. We're going to watch the 341 area because that 200 is going to move on the way up. And once again, right now, 363, 364 is what we're looking for. We're going to look at that as a dollar zone. I can adjust that line. I'm drawing it to the bottom side of where for what I'm seeing. Also, SPY here, we had this little rounded bottom trend break type play went up. We kept talking the last few days here. If we didn't start to move soon, we wasn't going to. Got this fake out here on that Thursday. We did pull back this day. That was a strong candle because the bears pulled us back below the 9 and we ripped back up all in the same session. Right here, this was our last day. We had just barely broke below the 9 and coming down, we crashing we did. You can see the SPY here on a downtrend. Make sure you're trying to draw lines on there. Check your trend lines on that. Watch yesterday's low. Once again, you can see the price action. We gapped down. You can see the price waves right there. You can see how we gapped up in pre-market and how we're pulling back in pre-market. And let's keep in mind that it is 5:13 a.m. on the East Coast right now. So that is New York time for the New York Stock Exchange. Tesla, seen a report that Tesla has started laying people off this morning. That could or may not affect the price. The stock split may or may not affect the price. The stock split's in August, so that may not have a whole lot to do with the price action until August. To be honest, I didn't see any dark pools on this, and I have not looked into the flow on this yet to see if we're bullish or bearish there overall. Can see and I'm going to start watching the flow out into, August and September to see what people were thinking as time progresses, just to get an idea of what people were thinking. But you can see Tesla here. We're able to get some decent trades out of this yesterday, all green. If they're green, they're decent. You also see that we pushed up and we pulled back, trying to hold this 50 in pre-market. But you can see it. We've been for the most part bearish on Tesla. Been able to get some call action onto it too. But the short term, I hate to say it, we're bearish on the market right now. This news, because of that volume candle, showed that at least it showed me that the market could be interested into a raise in the price hike. The basics hike from 0.50 to a 0.75. Even one article is saying even possible going to a full. But that volume candle yesterday and that spike, if you look at the 1 minute door at that exact time, you can see a very nice spike and you can see volume in that candle as well. But that tells me that this market is more interested into a bigger rate hike than what I originally thought. And it could be possible. I mean, it could be very well possible that that first article was leaked information. Just, the Fed might have been like, or the White House might have been like, hey, leak this for us. Let's see how the market acts, because we had a report at 3:55 saying Joe Biden was watching the stock market, very closely. And then, before that, we've got that news come out. We had that big volume spike. Maybe And I'm not saying, not getting political. Maybe Joe Biden with the midterms coming up was watching that. The White House released that, asked for that to be released. Maybe he's going to lean on Powell a little bit and lean on the governors or the Fed members and be like, hey, we really need to rate, this is what we need to do. The market will like it. It'll help people's 401ks. We really need to win this election. That's what they're saying. All right, let's make that clear. I'm not getting political. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying anything one way or the other. It's just a general statement. Upstart, uh, we were talking about this possible double top. This is the neckline right here. We took the neckline out yesterday, so that is a confirmed double top. We should get a move down to the bottom here. We'll see. Doesn't have to go there all at once. This could come back up and test a level. I would draw a line. I should have it drawn. I would draw a line right across here, and that, use that as reference to your neckline. Would not be surprised at all to get a retest of that. Now we're below that. That'll become a resistance level. You can draw a downtrend once again. Put a downtrend on these. Even we may take it out today. That just gives you an idea, gives you a starting point. I'm trying not to, reason why I don't have a whole lot of them, I'm trying not to mark the charts up as bad as I was, make them a little easier to see. Wells Fargo, unfortunately, bearish on the banks, do have this little inverted hammer down here, and it is at a support level. Well, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if it's at support. I would have to draw it out, widen my range out and put some lines down. But what this is, we are outside of the Bollinger Bands, and we are at the bottom of our price waves here, hopefully anyway. So we could see a push here. That could be a sign for a push. And Wells Fargo, you can see we gapped down yesterday and traded very flat. At one point, I thought the banks may push yesterday, and they fizzled out as well. And this is ExxonMobil's daily chart. We looked at the 15-minute below our major moving averages, our 9 and our 20, our short terms. Still above the 50 though. It's holding in better than a lot of the other oil names. And like I say, some oil names held in better yesterday because of the crude push. So this is Zim. Been in a downtrend here. We were waiting for this to pop. We didn't get it. Breaking below our moving averages right there in this resistance level. At this point, when I got below here and got a confirmation below that level, I turned bearish. Got a iffy day there where it looked like it may try to push. It actually did try to push, and the bears were able to take back control. But you can see where it opened. It was pushed down, then ripped up, then pushed right back to the open, where that candle opened. Now, this is yesterday's candle, puts us below the 200 and a level of resistance. So, which would have acted and did at one time act as support, and now we got shot back down, and we are now resistance. You can see right here it acted as support. Over here it was resistance. Has enough contact points to be a level of interest. Well, that's all for today. We're going to cut some of these charts out. Just wanted to show a few of them today. Some of these charts will be going out to try to shorten this video. I hope everybody has a great day, a green day. I will see you in the trading room. If we're doing anything here that is helping you, please hit that like button, subscribe, follow us. That'll encourage us to do more and get more into detail with technical analysis and how we're winning our trades. If you're interested in our trade alerts, stock options, how-tos, option flow, volume. We do a lot in the Discord trading courses. We have a lot of educational material. Our Discord is different. It's more about, learning to trade, learning discipline to trade with. So if we are doing anything here that you like, we also, like and subscribe. We also have our free Facebook group with a lot of educational material. Follow us on Twitter and on Instagram too. Have a good day, everyone.